folks. I'm a big yogi, and I have spent time doing some research and reading about how mindfulness can be helpful for everyone, but particularly those with mental illness. And for decades, there has been studies being done about how mindfulness can be an effective piece of treatment for folks with mental illness. I was really fortunate to take part in a lecture by MIT Open Learning where they talked about mindfulness being used in learning specifically. And they spoke about the research that's being done that has been proving a lot of the things that we thought we knew about mindfulness, but we didn't necessarily have the research backing up it. So one of the things we know about learning is that students need to be focused in order to learn. If a student isn't focused or engaged, then their ability to learn decreases. So one of the things that helps students lose focus is if they're distracted by anything. And one thing that can be distracting, particularly with students with certain diagnoses like autism, anxiety, ADHD, and other students in general, can be unpredictability. Unpredictability is distracting from learning. And research is demonstrating that mindfulness decreases unpredictability, so then that decreases the student's distraction and therefore increases their focus and increases their ability to learn. So that's pretty cool. Also, mindfulness has been shown to increase our neural plasticity. So the research has largely been on other animals other than humans, but there's evidence that this research will also apply to humans. So the neural plasticity in our brains is important because if our brains are too rigid, we can't learn and take in new experiences quite as well. Plasticity is basically the changes in our brain from experience, and we need that. So mindfulness can change our brain, can change the way we think and we learn. There's also been some more research done, particularly on learning in children. And the research from these children have shown that children who undergo some sort of mindfulness training, they have higher grades and they have less disciplinary action. Also, in one study, they had the students do these really kind of boring, rudimentary tasks, and students that had undergone the mindfulness training focused longer even on this really dull task. So there's a lot of really great research backing up that mindfulness is a great tool. And it's a tool that you could integrate into your classroom in even a small way. You could spend even just 5 minutes of each class doing some sort of mindfulness technique or practice with your students. The other thing about it is that there are apps out there for mindfulness. So it could be a really great tool in terms of equity. A lot of them are free out there. So it doesn't have to be something that's only for students of a certain socioeconomic background. It can be available to really anyone because so many people have phones nowadays. So there's a great power in it being a source of equity in learning. As with everything, though, there are a couple caveats. So one thing is that research hasn't proven that the same type of mindfulness is effective for everyone. So mindfulness is a really general term, and it incorporates a lot of different things. And we don't know if the same mindfulness exercise will have the same benefits as someone with depression versus someone with autism versus someone with PTSD. There hasn't been enough research done in that specific area. The other thing to consider is just the nature of mindfulness could be triggering to some people's trauma. So especially if you are trying to incorporate some mindfulness techniques in your classroom, you need to be considering that and be sensitive to that for some students, this could actually be very uncomfortable and triggering and just not a good thing for them to do. So while mindfulness has so many benefits, and I encourage folks to look into options about mindfulness and about how to incorporate mindfulness in their own life, and but also in their teaching and their learning. But there are always some other considerations to keep in mind. But there's some really cool things coming out in the research about mindfulness and learning, and it's a space to continue to look at and watch and see what more we learn about how mindfulness could really increase our students' learning.